So we've changed location here. This is for benefit of radio. We've changed location here so we can get some cameras rolling and record some stuff online, but we're still here with Damon and Jamie. Hello, Damon. Hello, Jamie.
Hello.
And we're going to be playing out some songs tonight on radio from the forthcoming, it's all a bit Back to the Future, but from the forthcoming Roundhouse shows we're going to be recording. Now, your first gig, as we established before, with the full band, guests, the whole carousel, was Coachella, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Coachella. Describe Coachella.
So we didn't have everyone because due to the volcano,
Mose was in London.
we lost Mose and Kano and Bashi.
Brass and Kano and Bashi,
Or Volcano and Ashy, as they're now known.
Very good. Very good. Nice. So how was the show? I mean, you know, excluding Volcano and Ashy and Ash Death and everybody else, how was Coachella? Describe, because you were pretty hard at it when I saw you outside. You enjoyed it, didn't you?
I think it's in my top 3 gigs I've ever done.
Hang on. So you had Glastonbury last year with Blur. That's in the top 3, surely.
Yeah, that's
probably number one.
Yeah,
and then you've got Gorillaz now as well. So this is.
Yeah, no, I was really kind of well, I was nervous, and a few people were saying you can't play all the new songs. You can't do that, you know, because you've never played a big gig, and anyone who does know you, because there's like 80,000 people there, they're going to want the album. They're not, you know, and I was just quite adamant that it had to be about, because this band's been put together for this
to play at Plastic Beach.
Plastic Beach, although it has worked out brilliantly for the other songs. I mean, you know, when you add Paul Simone's bass to Clint Eastwood,
it was kind of written for him in a way,
yeah,
wasn't it?
It was written for him.
Yeah.
I mean, literally. I mean, it's that kind of West London sort of sound.
I love that though, because let me just backtrack for a second. Did you know Paul when you made that song?
No,
you didn't.
But he did.
That is self-fulfilling prophecy, isn't it? Really?
Yeah,
in a way.
he did come to the first ever gig we did at the Scala.
Yeah.
With him and Mick, I think.
Really, I didn't know that.
You know, I was really, obviously, when I heard that at the time, I was really
chuffed.
Really chuffed, and I didn't actually make contact with him until we started The Good, the Bad, and the Queen, and then I found out he lived 2 streets down, and etc. No, but I mean, he's brought such an amazing. He's kind of made the band really sound complete.
He always, you know, he's always been a gorilla, even before Gorillaz.
Exactly. So he's kind of, you know, him and Mick really were kind of like we're made because of them.
Nice. It all comes full circle. When you're actually looking to put the set list together and how it's all going to work out design-wise and everything else, I mean, this album is a very different journey for Gorillaz than the previous 2, and that's what's great, is that each record represents a part of this ongoing story. But I can imagine that poses its own unique challenges when you're trying to, I want to say shoehorn, but you're trying to fit some of the older songs into the new story.
I don't know, we put songs that sort of complement this record in, and left out stuff. You know, there's not a lot of stuff apart from, well, there is only Clint Eastwood from the first album, and we try stuff.
See, I would have thought tomorrow comes to. Well, I would have thought that would have made it in.
That does sound really good, but then but it's when you put it against all the other songs, because you can't play all night, and especially for Coachella, we had like, I don't know, 90 minutes, and that was the slot that you're given in a festival. So we couldn't play everything.
Jamie, how excited do you get about the live thing now? Because, you know, a certain amount of your work is kind of done up to a point, but obviously you have a lot to bring to the table in terms of putting it out live and on stage and everything else. I mean, how do you feel about that challenge?
Well, I'm lucky in the sense that I have to do it all beforehand. So when
it's a
they're
leg
playing,
on the night.
but I get to go out into the audience and see it from that perspective, which is great. So,
yeah.
But I'm happy now because I think we've nailed, you know, our style of playing live after sort of several different, you know, attempts at bizarre things like playing behind a screen, which was, looking back on it, I can understand why so many people got annoyed.
But I can understand why you tried that, because I suppose you were trying to find the identity on stage when you made something that maybe wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I'm glad we did that, but I wouldn't really want to do it again. Play behind. It's a bit strange playing behind the screen.
Bit of an anticlimax after
You
last year.
Yeah,
as well,
exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
back behind the curtain.
I mean, I'm happy to go back behind the curtain, but the band's so much more organic now, and yeah, I
The
love
band's
it.
full of-
I just love it. I just can't wait to play these gigs. I mean, it was so thrilling. Coachella, can't, you know.
What are you going to say, Jamie?
I said the band's full of so many characters now that you really have to see them all. And
Yeah, I wouldn't know where to look, just in the
I know,
backing
it's-
band.
It's
That's part of
ridiculous.
the thrill. So you have a giant screen showing animation and visuals, but then you have all these amazing.
It's the Clash sandwich, you know. We just
Damon's,
put-
yes,
the
stuck
filling
between the
goes in
Clash
between the Clash sandwich.
I don't think it was possible. You just made them seem uncool in one very quick stroke. That was amazing. A Clash sandwich. What's that? Your local West London eateria? Oh, you can get the Clash sandwich and a
Damon's
coffee.
dream finally comes true.
You start a cafe, innit? The Clash sandwich.
That's what I meant.
Right up there with the
bookmark. All right, bookmark.
right up there with the
How do you
special.
put
Bookended.
special-
Bookended.
Bookended. In the sense that you've got Mick Jones on one side
Yes.
and Paul on the other.
A
and
nice
then-
bit of a ham.
That's him.
Some lettuce.
That's him.
That's me.
That's him.
That's
Yeah.
me.
Always
Well,
thinking about how
so
you.
what would you be?
Me.
Yeah, one of the condiments.
I'll be there to do my countdown.
All right, you know. All right. Okay, fair enough.
It's time for the 7th track in the set, everybody. This one's a doozy. Jamie, always thinking about when you're watching the show, though, even though you are in there with a pint in your hand and he's doing all the work, thinking about how you can change it over time and amend it, and will you?
Oh
be
yeah,
able
of
to-
course.
Yeah.
I mean that's. I mean, it's. I mean, I remember Cass saying that when they went out. Paul was saying when they went out on stage, it was quite. You know, oh my God, look at all these people. I think Cass said he had to front the audience for a few minutes just to pluck up the courage to start. But me, I'm kind of walking all around and seeing it from different angles. So yeah, you get a very clear idea of what you need to do to tweak it. And obviously we will do as we go on, because you know there was only a certain amount of time to put Coachella together, and so I know what needs to be changed, and there's other songs going to be added. You know,
Crazy,
songs we didn't do at Coachella will be at the Roundhouse, and
Crazy. The closest thing I can imagine you can get to seeing your own band perform live. Quite weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
The idea of that, I think. You know, it would be a shame not to have you here and not to talk about what you did a few years back with the hologram, because that really freaked people out in a good way. I mean, it was when I saw it, I was like, you guys have just stumbled across the future. You could do like 8 gigs in one night.
There is one.
we did get kind of carried away with
You
that
could have like
idea.
performing live tonight in Sydney, Singapore, Hong Kong, London, and New
Well,
York.
that was
Make money
exactly
while you
what we
sleep.
said to each other.
Yeah.
We can play every major city around the world
On
at the same time
night,
on the
and
same night.
stay home and watch, you know, MasterChef.
Except
or
there's
match of a day.
except there's one fault with the holograms.
It costs more money than you'll make.
Well, apart from the fact it costs more money,
Yeah.
as soon as you turn the bass up, the
They-
invisible screen goes.
Which was why
Oh,
at the
man.
Grammys, although you couldn't see it on the television,
On telly, it looks incredible.
in this huge great arena,
They were shaky.
Well, no, it's really quiet. So
They
we
had to play it
opened
quiet.
the Grammys, but it was really quiet. And so Madonna's kind of doing her thing, and no one's told us that as soon as she flips from one side of the stage to the other side to start her song with
Yeah.
her flipping sort of souped up, supercharged ABBA riff,
Yeah.
the volume is 100 times more, and the place goes insane, obviously. So we got really stitched up
Yeah.
on that.
But
And
it's
so the
Madonna.
holographic. I know it's.
You must have seen it
Yes,
coming.
but volume's volume, isn't it?
Not in Madonna's world. There's volume,
Yes.
and then there's volume.
Well, exactly. And do you know what? The funny thing
you
was,
basically supported her on the same stage at the same time.
yes, the funny thing was that
none, isn't
I'd
it?
pointed this out to him, and I'd said to the guy who was doing the transition, because there was a transition in the mix, I said, listen, I'm only going to do this if you promise me, you give me your word that you're not going to stitch me up, you know. And he was like, no, of course not. We'd never do that. And then he just sat there. And what made it even worse was Bono's had this huge, great Stetson hat on, and I had a really bad hangover.
Like Desperate Dan.
And it's just, and if that wasn't like bad enough,
Stuck behind the
bad
big
enough,
Stetson
I
hat.
went backstage afterwards to go and have a talk with Madonna about it. I wasn't going to make a big deal about it. I was just
Yeah,
going to
sure
say
you
hi.
weren't.
No, I wasn't.
Okay.
But So I was I was going towards where she was, and suddenly these huge, great bouncers with like earpieces and that little windy bit they have. They came out of this door and they pushed me to the side, and then Her Royal Highness sort of floated past, and I was like, nothing.
Also,
I was already history.
you're over.
Yes.
You're over. I gave you 4 minutes of my life.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed it.
Ah, well, you live and you learn, I suppose.
Now, the Roundhouse shows are obviously going to be a real celebration for people who are there, and it's a great venue. You played there before, doing the Good, the Bad, and the Queen album, so you know it, and it's a great historical venue in the Round. It's going to be magic.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, let's just pause there for a second, because we'll get to the future for gigs in a second. But let's just talk a little bit about these shows in particular, and how it feels to be taking Gorillaz into this environment, and just for people listening around the UK. Right
Well,
now.
I mean, this will be the first. We will have almost the complete set. Well, Hypnotic Brass will be there as well.
Give us a look. Go on. Carry on. I'm gonna have a look at
Lou Reed won't be there.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise
So
anybody.
that's because he's touring with his Metal Machine music, but he will be there later on
Great.
in the year.
Wow.
We've got the original Syrian orchestra from Damascus have flown over, so they're going to be here all this week, which will be really magical.
It's a full cast with the exception of Lou in it, really.
Yeah.
Volcano and Ashy.
Sean Ryder will be there. Kano and Ashy are there.
Yeah.
Volcano and Ashy.
You couldn't have asked for that, could you? I mean, literally.
I was gutted for them that happened, though, because I mean,
What, that their names are now being forever linked to
goes
the Volcano?
down.
Yeah.
That goes down really well in America, because they're still, it's sort of,
It's fresh.
dance hall is still
It's
really fresh for
fresh.
them. Yeah.
I see Bobby Womack is here.
Yeah, he's here.
We better have that sugar there.
No, it's all fine. That
all
was
good.
just
A one-off.
I think that was just. I think he was almost kind of slightly sort of.
Overwhelmed by the experience.
Well, just reluctant to share with us at that point that he was actually diabetic. And now, he's now.
Now, for me, obviously, no one else probably watching or listening to this yet, but Booty Brown from formerly The Far Side, and it's a good shout. Nice
He'll
to
be
see-
there,
yeah.
and Marky Smith's coming as well.
You were worried about him actually letting you do the thing on the record, and now
Well,
he's
he-
hanging out with you. Now he's rolling.
He wasn't up for it, and then as a last ditch attempt, we sent him the whole record, and he got it then completely. And that song goes down. I mean,
Are you going to start with it? Do you start with it?
That's kind of has the same reaction to the crowd as Song 2 used to have.
I always thought you should start with that when I heard the record. He did this thing that he does where I don't know if he would never have done it to you. He goes, yeah. So anyway, when I showed that idea.
No, we don't. So we can't start with that because we start with Snoop.
That's right. Is he there?
Well, he might be.
Oh, some old-fashioned show business myth there, isn't it? Eh? Keep him hanging, keep him hanging.
You never know.
He might stride on out there in his Chuck Taylors and his pressed his pressed chinos.
Now that he's got his visa, you never know.
Wow, that'd be amazing. Visuals for the Roundhouse.
Yes.
Gonna make it work.
Well, the Roundhouse visuals are the same as we did for Coachella, except one track might be different. We're working on something today.
Cool. Excited, man. I'm really excited. And then the future for Gorillaz, you've committed to touring this pretty solidly, right?
Yeah.
How are you going to do it with this? Is this going to rotate? Are you going to be able to take as many on the road as you can? I mean,
I'm a great believer in if something gathers momentum, people sort of kind of warm to it and feel attached to it, and it becomes. I don't force anyone to do anything, and it's a big ask to ask people to kind of take that much time out of what they do to kind of. But I'm hoping that
the experience
a lot of them
does
will.
the work. Yeah, without a doubt. And by touring, this is going to be a world tour.
Well, that sounds really scary.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Can we say sort of
worldish?
Worldish. No, I think we're definitely going to doing like 22 dates in America.
Wow. That's a lot of tour buses.
Europe and Australia.
Are you going to go on the road for a lot of this?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
The whole thing.
Absolutely.
Wow, he's got us so lucky, doesn't he? It's incredible. Exactly, dude.
Yeah, I got to go on the road because I need to
Just give him a
look
guess.
after everybody's booze for them.
Oh, really? Is that what you call it?
Of course, I have to work when we're on
You should give him
tour.
just a guest pass one
I have
night just to see
tweak
how it gets
and
on.
polish things. What's all this? What's all this? You can blooming talk.
What? I don't drink before I perform. You know that.
Not before.
And if I'm doing a string of things, I don't drink afterwards either. Only on the last one. So.
Just sit back and enjoy this. I think it's great. I think it's great. I think it's great that you guys are all together on the road. It would be weird if you let go of it at this point. You know what I mean? And just
Well,
let
it is a
kinda-
band. It is a
Exactly,
band,
it's a
although it's
band.
not in any conventional sense of the word a band, and it kind of sort of swells and then.
You're 3 albums in. You're a band. I mean, I don't know if you did.
Yeah.
You guys ever see this going the distance, going as far as it has?
No, not at all. No Coachella. I never imagined that the Gorillaz would work on a huge festival. You know, I mean, it was Jay-Z and Muse were the other two.
Yeah,
and
no.
I never really saw us in that. But we've, you know,
Smashed it.
well, so they say.
So Colbert says.
So they say.
Yeah, guys. You know, good luck on the Roundhouse shows and all the touring to come. And I'll just say what I said right at the start when you played me the record down in the studio. You know, I think it's pretty flawless, man. Flawless
Thank you.
pop record. And
Thank you very much.
thanks for continuing with the whole Gorillaz thing. Life's far more interesting with it. So we'll see you down Roundhouse.
Great.
Thank you.
Gentlemen.
Great.
Great interview, guys. Thanks very much for coming in. That was fantastic.
Hey.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.